What's up, Paul? Gonna be ready in just a moment here. Just an impromptu stream. All right, that's enough. We're gonna get started. All right, welcome back to Wmma Now with your host Chuck Stevenson. Doing an impromptu stream here. I wanted to talk about Invicta 53, give my thoughts on the fights and the event overall. So, yeah, let's talk about this. So, this is my first time coming to Denver for an Invicta event. I haven't been to an Invicta since the first Phoenix Series tournament, and that was in 2019. So it's been a while since I've been to a live Invicta. First time in Denver. Overall, it's a nice city. I like it a lot. Very artsy. I want to say, like, you see a lot of like really nice murals, you know, like the kind like the graffiti style murals. You see a lot of those everywhere, and just a lot of really cool, like, small businesses here. Like, you get the feeling that it's a city that is very small business friendly. So overall, I like Denver. Man, it is dry here though. Like, the last time I felt this dry was in Las Vegas. So it is very dry air up here. Overall, like when people talk about being at elevation, doesn't really affect you too much. I think alcohol hits a little bit faster with the elevation, but that's about it. But mostly it's the dryness for me. Like, I'm constantly hydrating while I'm here. Then yesterday, went up to the Real Works in Denver. It's a very interesting venue. I guess they have like concerts and stuff there. Yeah, very interesting venue. Like, you walk into the door and like there's no lobby or anything. Like, you walk into the entrance and boom, you see the chairs and the cage. And there's like a single table there for people with their tickets and to grab your media credentials. So I got my credentials and went over to the media table, sat down, got my stuff out, and the venue itself is just very, very different from, like, say, Memorial Hall or the Masonic Temple, which are, the places I have to draw reference to. It's all level, single room, all level. Mostly, like, I couldn't figure out why the tickets were general admissions, because you can just sit pretty much wherever. As long as it's not a VIP seat, if you have a ticket, you can pretty much sit wherever or stand wherever. It's a laid back type of venue, which was interesting. The cage definitely dominated the room, and yeah, that's real work. So let's get into the fights for now, before I start rambling anymore. So first up, and sorry I can't show any pictures. I'm on doing this on my tablet, which won't allow me to add images like that, I don't think. No, it doesn't. Okay. All right, so first up was a flyweight bout. Kai Bennett defeated Kendall Hollowell via TKO 404 of the second round. Hollowell ended up taking this bout a fairly short notice, and man, I'll give her credit. She was tough. She took a beating in this fight. Kai Bennett was just handing out punches, and Hollowell was eating them. Good effort for Kai Bennett. I think she hadn't fought in quite a while. If I remember right, she trains in Denver now. Yeah, 2 years for Kai Bennett. Good win. Set a good tone for the night with the stoppage in the first bout. So that was good on Kai Bennett. Man, she just looked mean. Like she had a meanness in her. I often talk about, sometimes fighters, they don't have a mean streak in them. And then some of them do. Kai Bennett definitely showed a mean streak last night. I'll tell you what, that was a late stoppage on that. That was a late stoppage. That definitely should have been stopped sooner than it was. Yeah, I mean, like we were over in, I was sitting at the media table and I was taking pictures and there with the other guys there from the media. Shout out to all of them. We were all like, come on, ref, stop it. It's like everybody was like, ref, are you going to stop this fight or what? And he just never, it took him forever to finally decide to stop it. So we had the second bout was atom weight, Alessandra Fajeda taking on Flor Hernandez. Fajeda won via unanimous decision. She climbed to 6-2. Hernandez fell to 4-1. This was a fun little fight. Man, I love the atom weight division, especially just the speed on display. And these ladies moved fast, especially Fajeda. I'm telling you right now, Lily Fajeda is a threat in this division, I think. She has fast hands. She's fierce. She has that mean streak. And she put on a really nice performance last night. Flor Hernandez, man, she fought good too. She was giving them as good as she could, as good as she was taking, and taking as good as she was giving out. Overall, really good, fun fight. One of the more enjoyable ones for sure. But yeah, definitely keep an eye on Lily Fajeda. Then at flyweight, Elise Pone defeated Liana Piracine via decision. Pone climbed to 3-1. Piracine fell to 8-6. Yeah, pretty happy for my fellow Pennsylvanian, Elise Pone. Good performance from her. Bad first round, I want to say, from her. She spent a lot of time underneath Piracine. And yeah, it wasn't looking good for her after that first round. But then second and third round, she just took over. And, Pone's one of those fighters. She makes a lot of noise when she's fighting, but man, she's not like ish. She's not Holly Holm style. When Elise Pone is in clinch and she's elbowing, she's like, ugh. It's like, whoa. I mean, they're like grunts. It's one thing to see it on the screen, but to actually hear it in person is something else. Like that. Like those noises are coming from the gut. So really nice work for Elise Pone. Man, Lee Piercing is she's lost 4 out of her last 5 now. And I saw her watching the fights afterwards, and like the whole night after that, like every time I looked around and I saw her, man, she just looked down. It kind of felt bad for her. But yeah, overall though, I was still happy for Pone. And we had another atomweight bout, Maniki Adriani taking on Nicole Giraldo. Adriani won by decision, climbed to 6-2. Giraldo fell to 5-1. So 2 undefeated fighters lost their O last night. This is another good one. Another good atomweight bout. Adriani might be, she doesn't have the belt, but she might be the best atomweight in Invicta right now. Overall, she can do it everything. She can strike. She can wrestle. She can grapple. She's good in the transitions, in the transition points. She can do pretty much, just about all of it. Giraldo had to put forth a good effort too, but Adriana's just that good. Like I said, she might be the best atomweight in Invicta right now. Then we had the lone strawweight bout on the card. Jessica Del Boni defeated Danielle Taylor via unanimous decision. Del Boni climbed to 13-4. Taylor fell to 11-9. I was talking with someone last night, one of the media members, and he kept saying, Del Boni doesn't do anything fancy. She's very straightforward in her approach. Like, she doesn't use a lot of feints or anything. She's either moving forward or she's throwing. And yet, Danielle Taylor just could not read her. Like, she had no idea, like, what Del Boni was going to do next. And even without, Del Boni doing anything fancy, it was just very simple movement. And Taylor was doing her usual lateral movement, and she still just couldn't read. It's like you're waiting to counter almost, or you're waiting for her to close in fast enough so you can strike, but you're not fast enough. It was just a really weird effort from Danielle Taylor. I think she fell to 11-9. She's definitely over the hill now as a fighter. There was a time when Danielle Taylor showed a lot of promise. Early in her career, she was getting some good knockouts. And she came to UFC and mostly stunk up the place. Then she got cut from the UFC and had a couple good fights. And now it's like, man, now she's just heading downhill like a snowball rolling downhill. Del Boni, she looks at home at strawweight, man. Seeing her fight at strawweight, I was like, man, how did she ever make atomweight? She's built. She's thick with 2 C's, as the kids would say. Del Boni looked good at strawweight. Looks like it's going to be her permanent home. And man, can she yak away on the microphone. Good Lord. All right, then we move into the co-main event of the evening. Olga Rubin defeated Claire Guthrie via submission due to buggy choke. Now, there were arguments over in the media section on what submission that was. It kind of looked like an inverted triangle. Everyone's saying buggy choke. I don't know. But anyway, Rubin climbed to 9-3. Guthrie fell to 5-2. Man, Guthrie had like practically everybody in the room cheering for her. She's not just a fighter who trains in Denver. Like, she's from Colorado. Like, she's a Colorado native. So she actually had probably the biggest pop of the night. And she did really well in that first round. I gave Guthrie the first round. Just overall controlling in the clinch, landing some good strikes, very stifling overall. So I think I gave Guthrie the first round. And it looked like she was going to do well in the second round too. And then boom, Rubin pulled that sub out of nowhere. And it was hard to see. Where we were sitting was like right up against the ramp that the fighters walk down, and like right by the door. So even though it was the fighters were like right there, it was really bad angle. We couldn't see what happened or who tapped. It was hard to see. Like, I thought it looked like that Guthrie tapped, but a lot of people in attendance, I think, couldn't tell what happened or who tapped. It was like Rubin got that sub on and lasted on that fast, and it was like a real weird position. It was hard to see who was doing what. And yeah, I guess that was a buggy choke, which first in Invicta FC history. And honest. Let's be honest here. When was the last time you actually saw a buggy choke work in MMA, period? I know Jack Slack from the Jack Slack podcast talks about that all the time, like fighters trying to buggy choke. It's like it just doesn't work. So I actually texted him or tweeted at him like hey Jack, someone finally made it work. Buggy choke. And One Punch Brad Pickett was there coaching Olga. Got to talk to him a little bit. It was pretty nice. I told him, I was like, man, I congratulated him on before Olga's fight. I congratulated him on Claire Lopez's big win in Rising, and then congratulated him again on Olga's win. I said, hey man, you're low key built up like a good stable of women fighters over there at GBTT. And he's like, yeah man, it's just coming together. So that was really cool. One Punch seems like a cool dude. So then we move on to the main event of the evening. Hayani Dos Santos defeated Jillian DeCourcy via unanimous decision to become the new atomweight champion. Dos Santos climbs to 14-6. DeCourcy fell to 6-4. Oh man, boy, did I get this pick wrong. That's okay. Yeah, I didn't have a lot of faith in Dos Santos coming into this. Excuse me. I'll be completely honest. I just did not have too much faith in her. DeCourcy had been looking so good lately, and Dos Santos, I hadn't seen her against any like truly decent competition, and her record just seemed mostly padded. I was like, yeah, DeCourcy should be able to handle it. She's been doing good lately. But man, Dos Santos was just so much faster than Jillian. And that was the key to the entire fight, was the speed. She was just faster than Jillian, like everywhere the fight went. She was faster. And Jillian just could not keep a rhythm going with her. Was having a hard time landing. And Dos Santos, man, she was throwing some beautiful combinations too, like some 3-4 strike combinations. Her kicks were good, punches were landing good, very precise, just very fast. I mean, just fast. That was like the entire story of the fight, was Hayani Dos Santos's speed in the fight. And of course, he just could not seem to get going in this fight. So we got a new champion. I'm not disappointed. I like seeing belts change hands. There's a good story when DeCourcy won it, and now it's a good story for Dos Santos, and she's got a lot going ahead for her now. So we'll see what she does. Shout out to Jason of, I think it's called Underdog MMA or Underdog Management, Jillian's manager. I met him waiting in line outside the building, and he had actually watched my preview. So shout out to Jason. Nice guy. Talking about trying to get one of his fighters on the next Invicta card. So we'll see. What else is there to talk about? Oh, ran into Raquel Pennington last night. Found out that she is now the backup fighter for Nunes versus Aldana. I won't go into, I don't really have any details or anything. She didn't want to say too much, but she was not too happy about the situation overall. Like, she's getting paid, but I think she really wanted that fight. So that was an interesting moment. Man, there were so many fighters in attendance last night. And it's like, man, it's hard to realize just how many fighters live and train in Denver now. It's like ridiculous amount of fighters living and training there. I'm trying to remember who I saw. I mean, obviously Rocky, Tisha was there, pregnant as all hell, looking like she's about ready to burst. There was a number of fighters I saw. And now I can't. Stephanie Skinner, she's fought for Invicta before. She fights like all over the regional circuit. Who else? And there's just a bunch. Like there was some people there I saw like I think you're a fighter, but I cannot think of your name. That happened like 2 or 3 times. Who else? Oh, Sharon Jacobson was there, Invicta veteran. I'm not sure if she's still fighting now. Yeah, there's just a bunch of fighters in attendance. It was like, wow, like more than you would ever see at like the Kansas City event, because there's just that many. I think there's honestly just that many more fighters up here in Denver than there were down in Missouri, which makes sense. You know, you can train up here in the elevation and everything. So yeah, that's it. That was Invicta 53. Just some initial thoughts on it. I got to go back and watch the fights again when I have a chance. Let's see. Later today, a few hours from now, I'm heading to the ceremonial weigh-ins for One Fight Night 10 over there at the First Bank Arena, or First Bank Center, whatever it's called. I'll be heading to there. Gonna go check those out. And then, of course, the fights are tomorrow. Can't wait for those. I'm really excited. Got a few hours to kill. I might go see like an art museum or something if it doesn't take too long. Depends on where, like, how far the drives are. There's a lot of stuff to do here in Denver, and I have like a list that people have been contributing to. Molly Brown House. Went to the Union Station. That's pretty nice inside, but it's still just a train station, but it's very nice. Yeah. So I'm going to cut off from here. I'll let you guys go. Thanks to the few of you that watched, caught it live. Like I said, this is just really impromptu. I wanted to get it done and out there while it was on my mind. So everyone have a nice day, and we'll see you later.